The time is now 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, August 6, 2025. Let the record show that there is a quorum present. We have Mari Benavides. Marco Reyes is absent at the moment, but he will join us shortly. Myself, we have Lionel Gondura, Adrian Ramirez, Dora Mata Rodriguez, and Diana Hughes present. I call this special board meeting of the Pearsall Independent School District to order. And we'll be moving on to invocation by Dora Rodriguez.
Let us pray. So, dear Lord, we thank you for your guidance for us all here tonight as we seek to make good decisions for our students, our teachers, and our Pearsall community. Give us rest from any worry and peace to trust in the outcomes from what we vote on in this meeting. Guide us home safely and let us awaken to love in the morning. And in the name of the Lord, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll move on to item 4, public comment. Do we have anyone signed up? Nope. Okay, no public comment, and we'll move on to item 5A action item. Consider and take possible action to approve the revised statement of strategy rationale for the Pearsall High School Targeted Improvement Plan.
Good evening, Mr. Board President, Board of Trustees, community. We have several action items to bring to the board tonight. Mr. Adam Martinez, Assistant Superintendent, will be bringing each of those in order. Thank you.
They have been working on academics and also working on self-discipline. So we are recommending for approval of the MOU between the Larry Brown School, the JJAP, and Pearsall ISD for the 25-26 school year.
And I believe we've had it ongoing.
This is
Yes.
something that has
Right?
been in place for several years.
I just have a couple of clarification questions. Number one, so we're still transporting our students there? Is that what we're doing, or is that a parent responsibility?
I'm going to have to look into seeing if that is going to be something that we have done in the past. If it is something that we have done, then we're going to continue to do so. If it's not, then we're going to
We transport.
explain that to the parents whenever we have.
We transport.
Okay. And then my next question is, when those students are attending JJAP, who gets credit for their attendance? Does Pearsall still get credit?
So
Or
my understanding is that they are unenrolled from Pearsall ISD, and they are enrolled in the JJA.
We still have all of the credit and all of the, any pluses and any strikes will still come to us. So they are still going to be counted on us. Even though they're enrolled over there, we're the ones who get the attendance credits, as well as all of the testing pieces. Those all come here, and the parents, we do have offer transportation for the students to ensure that they will go.
Okay. Is there any other questions? And if not, can I get a motion?
A motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Larry Brown School and Pearsall ISD for the 2025-26 school year.
Have a motion by Lionel Gondura.
As presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dora Mata Rodriguez. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item 5D, consider and take possible action to amend board policy FM local student activities.
President, members of the board, this board policy FM local is in regards to students that are homeschool students, and we are having the school board having to get adoption, or they may adopt the policy, declining non-enrolled students from the opportunity to participate in UIL activities for Pearsall ISD, and it also does address FD local, would also address private school students' non-participation in UIL activities. We are recommending that those students that are not students in Pearsall ISD, they would not have the opportunity to be able to participate with Pearsall ISD enrolled students for UIL academic purposes or UIL athletic purposes. So the recommendation is for the board to consider the option of declining non-enrolled students from being able to participate in UIL activities.
further questions, can I get a motion?
I'll move to amend the board policy as allowed by TEA section 33.0832 to decline to grant non-enrolled students the opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities, including activities governed by UIL, as presented by our administration.
Have a motion made by Dora Mato Rodriguez. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Lionel Ganda. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item 5E, consider and take possible action to approve policy for the acquisition of library materials as required by Senate Bill 13 from the 89th Legislature Regular Session 2025.
Mr. President, members of the board, again, this Senate Bill 13. This focuses very much on our library program here in the district. Some components that you would need to be aware of, it does entitle parents to access information related to library books accessed by their children. It does also clarify library material prohibitions related to harmful materials, profane content, indecent content, and it does also stipulate that any challenge of the library materials must be accepted by, if any parent, staff, or resident were to be able to bring that forth to the school, we would have to be able to comprise a challenge committee. We would convene, and then we would ultimately respond within 90 days if that was the case. So we are, again, following the 89th Legislature on this one for you to be able to consider for approval.
Does anyone have any questions?
So I just want to know who is going to be in charge of compiling that entire list of all our library books?
Great question. So we have already partnered with Region 20. We are working with a consultant that is going to be able to advise the district. We're currently looking at revising our current practices that we have established already and using the resources that we currently have, assessing whether they're going to continue to meet the needs. And early indications, we already have the consultant work with our librarians that we have designated on the campus staff. And early indications are we're going to be able to be in good shape with the current system that we have. Minimal adjustments, if any, are going to be needed to be made to be able to meet the level that we have here. So we are going to be getting help from Region 20 in this regard.
So again, but that would be a compiled list of our library books, correct?
A proper, accurate inventory.
If I may, every library book that we have is entered in TextQuest. All library checkouts are done electronically as well. What we have to do is make that list public. So we will have links on our website. So if anybody wants to see what books do we have available in our library, that will be made public and available so parents can see that.
Okay. So how do we review the list of books that teachers have in their classrooms that they build their own little library?
TextQuest also has a component in there where we can go in and create those lists. So that's part of the work that we'll be doing with Region 20. They serve as lead librarians for many rural districts, including ours. And so we're getting guidance on what that will look like. So those will all be, again, electronically tabbed as well so that the teachers can be rest assured that their classroom libraries are compliant.
Awesome.
It was good to know that the library consultant is very much aware of some of those requirements and has some ideas already ready for implementation. So although it's going to be a new process, it will be a process that I believe we're going to be able to have very, very good support from Region 20 on.
So I'd like to ask, what makes the challenge committee? Who makes that committee?
Well, very honestly, we're going to have to develop that committee. And so we're going to have to be able to look at stakeholders that have the most knowledge and skills that are going to be able to help comprise that committee. We're going to want to be having people on that committee that are knowledgeable and that are going to be able to have a good impact on that committee should we be presented with that situation.
Just so we know the next step.
Oh, absolutely.
So that will be part of the policy, and what this requires us to do is for us to have this policy in there, and it's set in there. It'll include the campus administrator, it will include content teachers, reading language arts teachers, those folks as well. So there is a very strict process on if you want to remove a book from the collection, there is a big process that goes on, and part of that process includes everybody on that committee reading the book and going over pieces of it. So it's quite a big process, but we have that all laid out.
And it is important to note that should we get into that scenario, say a book is questioned, we are going to be pulling that book throughout that process until the ultimate determination is made. So it very clearly stipulates that as well.
Good questions. Any other questions? All right. If there's no further questions, can I get a motion on that?
I make a motion to approve policy for the acquisition of library materials as required by Senate Bill 13 from the 89th Legislature Regular Session 2025 as presented. This one?
Can I have the policy?
Left to read it again. This one. I move that the Board of Trustees approve the proposed update to Pearsall ISD Board Policy EFB AOT as presented.
Have a motion made by Adrian Ramirez. Do I have a second? Second by Dora Mata Rodriguez. All in favor? Unanimous. Motion passes. Moving on to item 5F, discuss and take possible action to approve policy related to student use of personal communication devices as required by House Bill 1481 from the 89th Legislature Regular Session 2025.
Mr. President, members of the board, again, House Bill 1481, we do have the bill mandating that Texas Public Schools are going to be implementing policies prohibiting the use of personal communication devices during the school day and on school grounds. Again, I want to make also something very clear that there are exemptions that apply for students that are in the special education program or for a student in a 504 plan. So there are certain exemptions to that as well. We, Pearsall ISD, have already implemented the Yonder program as of last year for the secondary campuses, and we're going to continue to implement the Yonder program here this school year. And also on every campus in the district, we also have utilizing metal detectors. It has been great the last couple of days to be able to see those things in action as we've been able to be on campus for the beginnings of schools the last couple of days as we've gotten started. So I'm fully confident that we're going to be able to appropriately address the requirements of House Bill 1481. So we are recommending for your approval for this following the state law.
How have the Yonder pouches been this school year compared to last year?
One of the things that I will say is that we did have to purchase some replacements from last year. We did find out that some of the pouches, after a year's worth of use, they needed to be replaced. So we were able to implement some replacement pouches, and we were able to deliver those pouches to the campuses prior to the beginning of the school year. So for them to be able to implement here for the school year.
What are we doing for the younger grades?
The younger grade levels right now, our current practice is we are working really good with our principals and trying to be able to educate our parents as much as possible. Unless a student has a need, say a special program or a 504 plan for them to be able to have their phone in a needed reason, we are advising parents to not send their children to school with phones. We do recognize that there will be some instances in regards to those parents still sending them with phones, but we are working really hard to be able to educate as much as possible at the lower levels especially.
So I think the last thing that I wanted to just ask, so I know that, we're putting this in place, obviously, we're